hate to bring the I hate to bring the climate down, but 5 teens have been arrested for a gang rape in New York, in Brooklyn. They range from the ages of 14 to 18, and they have been charged with raping an 18-year-old woman on a Brooklyn playground. I wanted to talk about this. I want to talk about this because this is going to be a prelude to an entire series, of really a shift. Hang on, what's the right way to describe this? Stories like this, I have 2 pieces of commentary on. One, I want to talk about the fact that she was with her father at the time she was being raped, and the father was forced to leave at gunpoint, and she was left there. And I believe the final story is that she was raped by one and forced to perform oral sex on the remainder. So it's a terrible thing. The parents of one of the boys, when the surveillance video came out, the parents turned him in. And so from there, it just snowballed into the arrest of 5 kids, 5 teens. 2 things. The only reason, well, I'm bringing it up because it's a horrible story, but I'm also bringing it up because it kind of, I really have to talk about some things that I intentionally don't talk about. And I'm just warming you guys up tonight. I'm not going to do it tonight because we're going to go watch the State of the Union. But just to let you know, there are some things, some arguments that come from Black Lives Matter, some arguments that come from Black Twitter, some arguments that come from feminism, some, well, not true feminism, but a variation of feminism. There's some arguments that come out that really are all lumped together for me that make me really kind of disgusted with some of the things that we tacitly say nothing about, right? Not tacitly, we just don't say anything about it. This case is really just the straw. It's not a straw, it's a freaking bat that broke the camel's back for me. You guys may turn on me, but when I see cases like this and I see different things that are happening, it really triggers things in my mind about, oh man, I'm filibustering so hard here. I'm filibustering so hard because I opened up a can that really I've been avoiding talking about for a long time with regard to the Black community. And I think some things have to be said about every community, right? These are problems across every community, but I don't think that we can allow, I don't think we can give people a pass just because we're fighting against police brutality. Now, nobody is giving, now don't mistake what I'm saying. This particular case from Brooklyn is really just the bat that broke the camel's back. It's not a straw, right? But this case in Brooklyn really just kind of solidified the deal for me, where I think a lot of times we excuse certain types of behavior, we excuse certain types of activities, we let things go on that really we should nip in the bud for the betterment of not only our community, but for our nation. And so when I see a story like this, I don't directly connect it to that, but it's the straw that broke the camel's back, I swear. Because people like this, I'm not going to say I want them to get roughed up by the police, but I absolutely will say they need to rot in jail. You know, people like the guy who killed Laquan, no, what's the young man's name? So many people getting killed, you can't even keep track of it. Tyshawn Lee, the guy who killed 9-year-old Tyshawn Lee, right? We can't be silent. We have to use our platforms to speak out about every single injustice. Injustices committed by the police and injustices committed by people who look and live in certain same situations as us. I understand listen, I understand systemic oppression. I understand systemic racism. I understand the economic paradigm. I understand how economics plays a part in crime. I understand that white on white crime is just as endemic and problematic as black on black crime. I understand all of these things, but I also understand that there is a value in using our platforms to directly address these things. And if we don't do it, then shame on us, because the subculture that is created from poverty is just as problematic as the poverty that created the subculture. We can't just look at poverty as an economic paradigm and excuse behaviors that are fostered in a subculture. We have to hit it head on. These boys did not start off as rapists. They started off as something else. They started off with a number of things that I would talk about on another show. But I'm just telling y'all, I have to. And the fact that they forced the dad to leave, I'm not going to say anything bad about the dad because I know they're all suffering right now. But I tell you one thing, they would have to kill me. You know what it is? I'm going to start making a case for some traditionalism. I'm going to make the case for some, I don't believe in respectability politics, but I do believe that if you want something from this system, then you're going to have to dress the part of this system. Let me stop now, because this, let me tell you, this thing bothers me because we do more damage to ourselves than any of the good works that we could do fighting back against police brutality. And every one of you know that I'm down with the cause, and I understand the cause more than almost anybody else in the game right now. But for us to be silent in our platforms, I know people are out there hustling. I know people are in Chicago hustling. I know people are mourning, and people are doing, people are active, but I don't see the platforms that have been born out of Black Lives Matter and out of all the, I don't see them being brought to bear, challenging the problems that go right alongside police brutality, or the problems that go right alongside with poverty. And I understand that poverty plays a significant role in a case like this, but I sure as hell won't let sons of bitches off like this because of poverty. It's a both and. Patrick, you're live on the air.